Friends. I'm Matt. Welcome back to the channel, Hobby Vomit, a channel about every hobby under the sun, as long as it's one of mine. So today, we are going to be doing our second video, and our second video is all about every board game I played in 2024, and we're doing the pit fighting 1v1 until we get a ranking. So I'm just gonna switch over. If you saw my book video, then this is going to be the exact same format. This one's a little prettier because it pulls in the images from Board Game Geek, so that's nice. But let me switch over to the browser. Boom, we're here. Okay, so if you didn't watch the book video, welcome. Thanks for being here. We are going to be ranking every board game I played in 2024 via Pub Meeple. Pub Meeple is a site where you can basically just rank a list of anything. In this case, we are doing board games. So let's just go ahead and start, and we'll kind of get into it as we go. So I'm going to hit rank. We're ranking 179 items. So it's you may have seen that. It said there's going to be 745 comparisons. So yes, this is going to be a long video. Bear with me. Or skip around, or you can skip to the end and just see where I rank everything. Some caveats: this is going to be based off enjoyment, not what I think is an objectively better game or not. And so, yeah. So this is good. There some more caveats. Some of these games I played one time. So I may, and some of these games I played 12 months ago one time. So I may not have too much to say. The first time a game comes up, I'll try and talk very shortly about it, because there's 179 of them, so I don't want this to be too long. I'd love for this to be 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. So, yeah, here we go. All right. And I also, this does not import the designer or artist name, so if I know them, I'll say them. If I don't, I apologize. First up, we've got Nassau versus Zhanguo, the First Empire. So Nassau, this is a game by Stefan Feld. This is a Euro point salad game where you're kind of going around as pirates in Nassau. You're fighting creatures. It's pretty typical Stefan Feld. There's a ton of things to do. Everything gets you points, and at the end, it kind of just spits out some totals. But I like this game. I'm a big Stefan Feld fanboy. There's not many Stefan Felds I've played that I don't like, though there are some. And I didn't know really what to expect with this game, but I liked it. I love point salad games, and this really is truly a point salad. There's so many directions you can go. You can dabble with everything. This is one of those games where if you don't go hard into something, you can't win. You can just dabble around and win, I think. But yeah, that's Nassau. And then Zhanguo. It's been a while since I've played this. It's been a while since I've played this. It's kind of like an action selection game, I believe, with it's definitely a Euro at heart. It's been a minute. Some area control. I don't know. I think there's some area, or they're not area control, but there's race elements. So like there are goals on for building the wall, and on those goals there's kind of like scoring conditions. So if you're the first one there, you get the higher multiplier. And you're kind of manipulating things on your player board. You're moving these generals around, these different workers essentially, and getting them into a place so you can then affect that region on the map. But it's a cool game, very unique, and I had a great time playing it. And you know what? As much as I like Nassau, I think Zhanguo feels more original. I'd play Nassau any day of the week, though. But I am going to go Zhanguo. So what we do is I choose one, and now Pub Meeple remembers I like Zhanguo more than Nassau. Sao now. And then it's going to just keep giving me these, and at the end it's going to do some magic behind the scenes and spit out my list from highest ranking to lowest. All right, Draft and Write Records versus Marvel United. Draft and Write Records, this is a fun draft and write, if you will. You're drafting cards, and you're trying to build out a band so then you can go tour with that band. I really like this game. It's fun. The drafting element is what really makes it. I guess I'll say if I played a game solo or not. This one I've not played solo. I've just played this with some friends. And this is a good, very combo wombo you'll make one mark with the card you draft, and then you get to mark off something else, then you get to mark off something else. So if you like combos and you're rolling rights, I think this is a winner. And then Marvel United, there's something special about Marvel United. It's just so simple but fun. I mean, there's like 2 rules. It's so simple. And I love the chibi art. I get why some people don't. I think the chibi art's great. I think the miniatures are amazing. And I think the gameplay is fun. I've not played a ton of the villains. I played a little bit of the new Kickstarter that came in. And yeah, I had a blast. I like the equipment they've added to that. I think that really heightens the game a lot. But yeah, it's a solid game. And I think I like Marvel United more than Draft and Right Records. Okay, Amritsar, the Golden Temple versus Grand Austria Hotel. 2 Euros, 2 great Euros. I enjoyed both of these games. I'm a big Euro fan, which you will come to find out. Amritsar, you're kind of building up this temple. It is a rondel game. I guess it's a rondel. It's more of like a Mancala game, actually. You're kind of picking up these different colored workers and dropping them off. You're moving them around a rondel and then dropping them off, and then depending on where the last worker lands, you can take a couple of actions. And you're also moving. You have an elephant that moves around the outside of the board that can make donations to this temple. Then you have a player board. You're moving up tracks and fulfilling goals. There's some race elements to it, or I guess area control more so. You can each put your cubes in each section of the temple, and at the end of each year or round or however you want to call it, each side of the temple will score a variable amount. So you want to have the most things there for the highest scoring section. I really like this game. If I had any critique, is that you do get almost everything done every game, which doesn't lend itself to a lot of replayability. All right, Grand Austria Hotel. I'm going to try and go quicker because I could talk all day. Grand Austria Hotel, this is one of my favorite 2-player Euros. Most of the Euros I play will be at 2-player. Amritsar, by the way, I have played 2-player and solo. It's got a good solo mode as well. Grand Austria Hotel. This is like a dice drafting game, and you're running a hotel. You're getting guests. I'm not a super thematic gamer, as you also might find out. I'll probably know more about the mechanics than I do the theme. But in this one, yeah, you're running a hotel. Every round you can take a new guest, and those guests want to go into certain colored rooms. And you do that by giving what they want to eat, which, makes a lot of sense. They want to eat something, then they want to go sleep. And so, yeah, there's, I think, 6 different actions, and you roll a bunch of dice at the beginning of the round, and then you start drafting dice in turn order. And depending on how many dice are there when you draft it, that action becomes more and more powerful. Super fun game. I mean, it's just at 2. It's super good at 2. I have tried one of the solo modes for this, and it's pretty good, the official one. I've not tried any of the expansions yet, though I hope to. And I love Grand Austria Hotel, so this is going to go to Grand Austria Hotel. All right, Leviathan Wilds and The Loop. Leviathan Wilds is basically Shadows of the Colossus, the board game. It's co-op, and there's a map book, and each page of that map book is a different Leviathan. You are climbing up as these little climbers, and you're trying to break the corrupted crystals off of them to save them. Not to kill them, to save them. You're saving them. And it's a cool little game. There's a bunch of classes, and there's a bunch of roles. I'm not sure. They each have their own little deck, so you choose one class, one role, you smash it together, and now you have your character. Super simple game. You're playing one card, and it tells you how many actions you get, and then you have a list of actions you can take, like climbing up or breaking the crystals or jumping or gliding. But you're working together to save this Leviathan before the time runs out. There's a loss condition. So I like this game. I've played through 4 or 5 scenarios with a buddy, and yeah, I enjoyed my time with it quite a bit. I do wish there was a little bit more variety with the roles. When I hear about you smash 2, decks together and it creates a whole new thing. Some of those decks are a single card, and yes, it is different than the other ones, but like, I'd love it to be like 5 and 5 cards, and like that would really make it feel unique. But that being said, it's still a great game. And then The Loop, I there's not very many pandemic style games that I enjoy, which is where you're just kind of constantly putting out fires, but you can't contain them all. But I really like The Loop. It's a deck building game, and you can buy new cards, and you can do a looping thing. So every turn you're going to be playing some cards, which is moving around the different eras to stop this nefarious Dr. Foe. He's trying to control the timeline, essentially. And so each slice of the board is a different era, and all the cards you can get from that era are super thematic. So like the medieval era, you'll get cards like Excalibur or whatever that go into your deck. But really what you're doing is just moving around and putting out fires. That's mostly it. But I really, really like this game. The art's great. Thematically, it is good, and it's one of the few pandemic-style games I like. I've played this one quite a bit. This is tough because I like both of these games. But I think I could play The Loop a lot more. Leviathan Wilds, I think once I beat a Leviathan, I'm like, I don't really feel like revisiting. So I'm going to give this to The Loop. All right, Keep the Heroes Out versus Nunatak and Temple of Ice. Keep the Heroes Out. This is just you play the bad guys in a dungeon, and the heroes are coming in to try and steal the gold, steal your treasure. And so you are keeping them out. It's kind of like a tower defense game, but it's cool. You have you choose your own like race. So that like there's the dragons that you see on there. There's ghosts. There's it's been a minute. Cthulhu's one, and they have their own unique deck, and so it's really a tower defense game. Every round, you're going to be playing things, moving around, picking up items, killing heroes, or dispatching the heroes that are in there trying to steal your treasure. But it is a co-op game. Versus Nunatak. This feels like this is a cool game. It feels like Sushi Go, but with like a physical component. You're building up this huge temple of ice. And so every round, it's pretty simple. You're just going to draft one of the cards that's face up and put it in front of you. And then you're going to place one of your little ice blocks onto the board, covering a tile that matches that. Once 4 little tiles are surrounded with ice blocks, you're going to build on top of that the next layer of the temple, and so on and so forth. So it's mostly you're just drafting cards that show a type. And at the end of the game, when the temple's built, each of those different types of cards scores differently. So it's kind of Sushi Go in that way. I really like this game a lot, actually. I was surprised at how much I like this game. And it's super cool looking on the table, but it doesn't have a ton of depth. It's very light, where Keep the Heroes has a ton of different scenarios. It's a scenario-based game, but it's a little too fiddly, I think. So I'm actually going to give this to Nunatak, Temple of Ice. All right, Lorenzo Il Magnifico versus Marvel Champions, the card game. Marvel Champs was once my favorite game of all time during the pandemic. Man, I love this game. I got it right when it came out, and then they just did the little the drip feed of new content. And when a new hero pack came out, sorry, I should say what it is. It's a card game. Think like Magic the Gathering, but it's a co-op version of that, where you are playing Marvel heroes playing against a Marvel villain. It's basically just a beat 'em up style. You'll have allies you put in front of you. You can attack them. They're trying to either kill you or complete their schemes, the villains. But it's a card-based game, like a trading card game. But it is co-op. The enemy is controlled by a deck of AI cards. But yeah, I loved this game once because they'd release a new hero pack, and when you build your deck, when you've got 5 new options, you can look at all those and be like, oh, this would really work with Spider-Man because Spider-Man's deck does this. Now there's just so much content. For a while there, I was just collecting it. I'd buy it, I'd sleeve it, I'd put it in my collection, and I'd never touch it because there's just so much. And I played this earlier in the year. I used to love it true solo, 1 hero, 1 villain, and then I played a lot of it 2-player. And now I don't think I can go back to solo. It's just not as fun to me. And the game itself has really just kind of taken a significant dive. I still like it. I think it's a great game. It's a little bloated for me now. And then Lorenzo Il Magnifico. This is a Euro. I don't know what you're doing in this game as far as theme. What are you doing in this game? I don't know. But it's kind of like I guess it's technically a worker placement. So there's 3 shared dice on the board that are 3 different colors. And then every player has a worker that matches the color of those dice. So if it rolls orange rolls 4, white rolls 1, and black rolls 6, my orange and your orange worker are both worth a value of 4. So in that way, everyone's workers are equal, but they're not equal from round to round, which is fun. Because it's kind of like do what you can. And so there's some engine building elements. There's basically a board with these 4 towers, and those are stacked with different types of cards. So you're putting your workers out to buy those cards and add them to your tableau, where you can then run those engines to get resources or points. And every round you have to, there's like a church track. I think it's the church. And if you're not far up enough on it, you get punished. But if you are far up enough on it, you get rewarded. So it's pretty standard Euro, but man, it's so good. It's such a good game. A couple years ago, this would have gone to Marvel Champions, but now it is going to Lorenzo. All right, Mistborn, the deck building game. This is a new entry in Applejack. Mistborn, brand new game, just came out. I like this game. I've only played it co-op. There's a co-op and a competitive version. I've not played the competitive version, but in the co-op game, it's very think like your Star Realms. It's kind of in that genre, the Star Wars deck building game. It's like one of those light, self-contained deck building games. It's not going to be a super long game, but I think what this game achieves really well is thematic integration. I've read the Mistborn trilogy, and the way that you get to burn the metals to activate certain cards is super fun. And very clever, but without adding too much rules overhead. So I like this game a lot. And then there's Applejack. I really didn't like this game. I can't tell you too much about it. I can tell you almost nothing about it other than I didn't like it. I played this one on Board Game Arena, and I just very late one night I was like, I'll try Applejack. It's on Board Game Arena, and it just felt convoluted and silly, and it was forgettable. So I'm gonna give this a Mistborn. Far Away versus Amalfi Renaissance. Far Away, this is another one I played on Board Game Arena. It's been a while. You're kind of like drafting cards or playing cards out in front of you over a certain number of rounds, competitive game. And then they score points working their way backwards, I believe, at the end of the game. So you're building from left to right, but then they score right to left or something like that. It's been a minute, but I do remember that part being cool. I think I played this twice back to back with a buddy, and like it was solid. I don't feel like I ever want to come back to it though. It was fun. And then Amalfi Renaissance, this is a Euro game. I've played this solo and multiplayer. This is a game you're kind of putting out ships or workers, if you will, to activate spots on the board. A lot of Euros are going to sound the same because a lot of Euros are the same. But it's just a little, if you like Euros and you play them, you'll kind of know what I mean when I say like just a little tweak to a system can really make a difference, and it just works for me, you know. That's how a lot of board games are. You know, there's a ton of deck builders, but they all do something a little bit different, and that's why I love Euros. I love the way they make my brain tick, and it's just fun to do something different every round, and yeah. So this one, yeah, you're just essentially trying to get points. There's different goals that come out every game that you're trying to do something different. But you're basically getting resources with your ships. The cool thing about the ships, it's been a while, but I believe the ships can either go out onto the board to activate a spot, or they can go up onto your own player board where they equal the resources. So you kind of have to balance that, like, am I sending my ships on my board to become resources, or am I sending them out to activate a spot that allows me to send my ships to become resources? So that's a fun little puzzle. Yeah, I like this game. I'm gonna give it to Amalfi. Planet Unknown versus Tapestry. All right, Planet Unknown is a really fun polyomino game in which you get a random asymmetric planet and a random asymmetric corporation, which is really just a set of 5 tracks that you're going up. And basically, there's this lazy Susan in the middle of the table that has all these polyomino pieces, and you spin, whoever's turn it is, they spin it to wherever they want. There's little like slices of pie, if you will, and in each slice of pie, there's 2 stacks of polyominoes. So you get to turn it to whatever side you want, and then whatever side is facing you, you have to choose one of those 2 tiles and place it onto your planet board. And then you're kind of, depending on what 2 types of terrain are on that tile, those are the 2 tracks you get to go up on your corporation board. So it's a really simple game. You just draft a tile, put it down, and then go up some tracks, and you're just really point chasing. But every board's got some asymmetric ways you have to place some rules you might have to follow to place the tiles, or the corporations might have new. They call them, I think it's just technology that you unlock that lets you break the rules in a cool way. And so yeah, you just play until someone can't place something on the board, and then you score your points. It's a really short, sweet, super fun polyomino game. Great game. And then Tapestry. Tapestry is a civilization game, which civilization themed game, if you will. I really like Tapestry. I only played this solo this year. I think this is a great game. I get the criticisms. I get why a lot of Civilization fans don't like this game, because it's not really a Civilization game. If you're thinking like Civ 6, right, on the computer or something. I don't like Civilization games, so I didn't think I would like this, but I do. You do have a Civilization. They have a special ability, and you're basically just, it's a resource engine game. You're moving up tracks. There's 4 tracks, one for like warfare, one for science, one for exploration, and the turns are so simple. It's you just move up the track, pay to move up that track, do what the next thing that track says, and that's it. It's super easy to play. Every civilization feels very different, and even though there's only 4 tracks that you go up, or 5 with the expansion, every time I play, I feel like I want to do something different. Yeah, you do go up. You go up. You know, I feel like you could usually max out one and go up, halfway on a couple others, and then barely go up another. But every time the choices feel really interesting. So this is tough. Solo, I would go Tapestry. I think Planet Unknown, though, it's just so short and you can get anyone to play. It's a great game. Go to Planet Unknown. All right, Apiary versus Sentinels of the Multiverse Definitive Edition. I think both of these games were kind of mid for me. Sentinels is kind of like Marvel Champions. Except for you don't build your deck before you play. They are pre-built decks. But it is a co-op game. It's a card game. You're playing against a villain. You're playing as these superheroes. It's good. It's perfectly serviceable. I like the art. I think it's fun. I've kind of grown to like not having to build the deck. I used to like that a lot more in Marvel Champions when the collection was smaller. Now that it's so big, I don't even know what half the cards are, and I have to, take so much time. I kind of like the idea of just, I open the box, I pull out the deck, and I'm ready to play. But yeah, it's good. I think the mechanics of Champs are a little, Marvel Champions is better. So this is okay. And then Apiary, this kind of feels like Glass Road, but in space with bees a little bit. It's just an engine builder with some interesting worker placement. Your worker placement, you're like bees in space, and every worker is a 4-sided bee with a number on it. And so you can like boot people out of spots, and then the value of the bee you place determines how good that action is. And when it comes back to you, it ticks up, it gets stronger. But they go from the highest value, they have to like reset down to 1, which that part's fun. I think it's just fine though. A lot of what you're doing is just getting a new tile to place on your little hive board, and that might have a goal for you to complete, or a scoring condition, or asymmetric ability. It's good. I only played it once solo, and I didn't find myself super craving to go back to it. But I think it's a well-designed game. But I think this is tough. I think I might give the edge to Apiary. Yeah, I'm doing it. All right, Age of Innovation versus Expedition to Newdale. Expedition to Newdale is fun. It's like a 9-chapter Euro game, which you don't see a ton of Euro games where you're playing from chapter to chapter and like the board changes. But essentially, you're just running an engine it's like a card-based engine with goods. And so like you're doing like a chain of goods. So like you want to get a farm. So this is not accurate, but you want to get a farm so you can get cows, and you use those cows to get milk, and then you use that milk to get points. And so like each one of those is a step on your cards. And that's mostly it. But it's a good game. And then Age of Innovation, this is like a Euro. This does feel more like a Civilization game, that you're just playing a race. There's a shared board that you're trying to build houses on, or not houses, but cities essentially. There's tracks that you're racing up that give you new abilities. It's a great game. It's a big, chonky game. This is like a 3-hour chonker, and it's good. It's good. It's really good, actually. This is in the same line of Gaia Project. I like Age of Innovation better than Gaia Project. I think it's just cleaner. It cleans it up. The only thing I like more about Gaia Project is that the map can change. The map of this does not change, but I'm not playing enough to where that matters, and the rest of the game changes so much it doesn't. It feels like it almost just balances a little bit more, but it does take away that little extra step of puzzle. But I'm still going to give it to Age of Innovation. I think Expedition to New Dale is fine. It's good, but it's not a super memorable Euro. I'm not itching to play it. Where Age of Innovation, I would play. I like to play again. Age of Innovation. Codenames Duet versus Scholars of the South Tigris. All right, where are we at? We're at 25 minutes. All right, I'm going to try and speed it up. Codenames Duet. It's Codenames, but it's co-op. Look at that. Scholars. I love Codenames. I love Codenames, and I love Codenames Duet. Super fun. Scholars of the South Tigris. This was a strange one. I'm not a big fan of this company or their games, or the artist of this game. I know a lot of people love the Miko or the Micho, or I don't know what it is about his art. It's almost off-putting to me at this point. But this was actually the first of their games that I really liked. Like the color, it's a Euro. It's a Euro. You're like trying to transcribe scrolls in tons of different ways. But at the end of the day, I found after I think I played it 3 times, I didn't really feel like game to game it felt any different. I felt I was doing the exact same thing every time. So it started really high for me, and it has since declined quite a bit. So I'm going to give this to Codenames. Pirates of the Maracaibo versus Wingspan. Wingspan, it's an engine builder game. You're collecting birds and playing them out into your tableau, and then activating those rows to get points. Yep. And then Pirates of Maracaibo. Pirates of Maracaibo is a Euro. It's a race game at its heart. You're racing across the map and stopping on cards, trying to buy those cards to increase your engine to score points. I like Wingspan. I love Pirates of Maracaibo, so I'm going to give it to Pirates of Maracaibo. Tabriz versus Stroganoff. Tabriz is I guess it's kind of like more of a pick up and deliver game. You're moving from place to place, and there's going to be a lot of repetition in this video because a lot of Euros, like, you're getting goods and you're changing those goods into other goods, and then you change those goods into points. And that's exactly what you're doing in Tabriz. You move from point to point, you get resources. Some of those spots will let you exchange resources, and you change those out to get points. It was perfectly fine. And then Stroganoff is one of the most unique Euros I've played. I don't even know how exactly to describe it. But you're kind of moving further and further across the board to the right, and you always reset at the beginning of every round. But you can drop off little huts or little, outposts, I think, further along in each section. So that next year, you don't have to go that far. You can still activate those things in that section. Great game. I love Stroganoff. I will be choosing Stroganoff. Kathmandu versus For Sale. Kathmandu is a race game, a really fun race game. You're just moving your yaks, trying to get to Kathmandu, and on the spot that you stop, you're activating dice. You roll a bunch of dice, and whatever dice you choose as a value, and that's how far your yak has to move. You don't get to choose to go less. And the spot you land, there's up to like 5 or 6 different actions you can take if they're available to you. So you're trying to maximize how many actions you can take, but also trying to get to the end to get some points. So I actually really like this game. And then For Sale, a classic. I mean, it's just property flipping, the card game. Anyone can play this. It's an auction game. The first half of the game, everyone starts with a certain amount of money, and you're buying properties. You're trying to buy low. You want to buy these properties low. And then the second half of the game, money starts coming out, and you're trying to each play a card that you're trying to assign to the highest value money that comes out. So if I remember, you took the 30 card value, that's the highest value house there is, and now the highest money value's out. You might play that 30 value because you want the you want the highest value money. And at the end, whoever has the most money wins. Great game. I like Kathmandu, but For Sale's a classic. Cartographers versus Windmill Valley. Cartographers is it a roll and write? I guess technically it's a flip and write. Card comes off the deck, and you have to color in polyomino pieces on your map. It's good. I've never loved it as much as a lot of people. To me, I don't like drawing, or it takes a little too much time for what it is. If it were a little simpler, I think I would like it more. But I do love the scoring system. There's 4 seasons, and there's A, B, C, and D. And like season 1, you score A and B, then you score B and C, and then so on and so forth, to where you score each of those 2 times in different combinations. So I love that scoring. Cartographers, it's good. And then Windmill Valley, this is a Euro. I've only played this one once. You're kind of building up an engine and trying to put your windmills out on this map and collect tulips, different colored tulips. And you can kind of choose what color tulips you want to build up. Some are harder than others to get, but those are worth more points. And it's also a little rondel game. So the actions you take, you're going to spin your little rondel at the beginning. Whatever action it lands on, that's what action you do. But it's cool because you can upgrade that. You can take little pieces and put them on your rondel to make those actions better. I worry that there's not enough replayability, though I've only played it once, so it just seems like that's really where the replayability comes in, is upgrading your thing, your rondel, and then what different cards you take. But that might be enough. I would love to see the map change, but it still might be enough, so I'd like to play it again. I really liked this, though. So off of just one play, I'm going to give it to Windmill Valley. For me, I'm going to take a drink. I'm still coming off being sick. So, got to take some sippies. Okay. Dune Imperium versus Ticket to Ride Legacy, Legends of the West. Ticket to Ride Legacy, it's like a 12-game Legacy game. If you don't know what a Legacy game is, it's basically you play a session, and it will usually ask you to tear up a card or unlock a new sticker that you place on the board, permanently changing your game, which is really fun. And this one, it is just Ticket to Ride, which I'm not a huge fan of Ticket to Ride. I think I respect it. I'm glad it exists. I would never choose to play it at this point. And that's exactly what this game is. But it's cool in that you start with you're in the U.S., and you're building out the map as you go through this Legacy game. And each section of the map unlocks new mechanics. So that part was fun. It was always fun at the end of a session to unlock a new part of the map and see what that does. And, as much as I don't love Ticket to Ride, I played through this whole thing with my partner. So that kind of speaks to how strong of a Legacy game it is. It's really good. Now that I'm done, though, when we were done, I was done. I wasn't like, oh, I wish there was more games. It's like, I'm good. So, and then Dune Imperium. Man, Dune Imperium's so good. This is a competitive game. It's just a competitive Euro. It's got like a mixture between deck building and worker placement. The cards you play determine what you get, but it also determines where you can send your workers. So not every space is going to be available to you every round. Plus, you're blocking each other. And then at the end of every round, you do like a little fight. So you can put your troops out and fight each other. And it's always good. And it's never missed. So I'm going to go Dune Imperium. AI 100% Human. The worst board game name, maybe of all time, versus the Reckoners. I don't understand this board game name, but it's a fun game, AI 100% Human. It's a drafting game. It's very simple. You're just building out like a 5x5 grid of cards. I think it's 5x5. And every card you place has a scoring condition, every single one. Some score immediately, some score at the end of the game. Their colors, they each do different. Every card does something different. So I might say, like, when you place this card, check every card in its row and column and score 2 points for every yellow card, whatever. It's very abstracted. Because I don't think any part of it has anything to do with being AI or 100% human. I don't know. But it's a fun little puzzler. It takes, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And it's, it can rack the brain. So I think it's a good game. And then the Reckoners is a co-op in that pandemic style. You're kind of putting out fires. You're working cooperatively to take down the big superhero that's bad. And you roll some dice and activate those dice. And it's simple, but it's really fun. I like this game quite a bit. Again, another pandemic style game that I actually like. But I think for my taste, I can just pull out AI 100% Human, knock out a game in 20 minutes. Reckoners is a big event. It's a big box, lots of pieces. So I'm going to go AI 100% Human. Carcassonne versus Star Wars Outer Rim. Carcassonne, it's a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. I think one of the best, like, brains off 2-player game. I love this game. And then Star Wars Outer Rim, surprisingly, extremely fun, like a Ameritrash game. You're playing a pilot in the Star Wars universe, going throughout the galaxy, stopping off on planets, bounty hunting. It's kind of like a sandbox game. You can do whatever you want, but you get little goals that you want to achieve, or you might meet Star Wars characters that you want on your ship. You can upgrade your ship. You can kind of do it all. And it's very fun, really well designed. But it's Carcassonne. I love me some Carcassonne. I'm going Carcassonne. Raw versus Freelancers, a Crossroads game. Raw is a classic auctioning game, or a bidding game. I guess the same thing. And it's a classic for a reason. Again, it's one of those that, like, I finally got to play it, and I was like, oh yeah, I get why this is still a classic when it came out. I think it came out like 1993 or something. Super simple game. You're just bidding for a row of up to like 10 tiles. Sometimes you're bidding for a row of 3 tiles. It just depends on if someone starts a bid or not. Or sometimes you're forced to start a bid. If you win that, you just take all those tiles, you put them on your player board. At the end of each year, certain things will score. It's very simple. Super good, though. And then Freelancers, a Crossroads game. This is an interesting game. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure story game. You're using an app. It keeps track, but you're basically just... It's very... It reminds me of Adventure Time a lot. I've only played this one once, but it was very Adventure Time. You're just kind of going on a map book, and you get to choose where you want to go, and it might prompt you, say, like, oh, you arrive in a town. There's a bar, and there's a... I don't know what else is in a town. A tavern. It's the same thing. But whatever, you say, so I'm going to go to the bar. Well, I'm going to go to the tavern. And each one says you resolve them from top down. So at the bar, it's like, oh, you might have a drink, and that replenishes 2 of your health or whatever. Or at the tavern, oh, there's a fight, and you have to fight. It's very simple. You just kind of resolve all that stuff. There's a lot of good humor in it. It's like Adventure Time humor, but for adults, which I think worked for my partner and I. I could see this working a lot better in a bigger group. But we played the first scenario, and I was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. But it's going to go to Raw. Harmonies versus Red Rising. Okay, Harmonies is interesting. It's kind of, it's just like a little puzzle game. You're drafting some pieces, and you're putting them on your board, but you can stack them. It's like Cascadia. If Cascadia you could stack the tiles, because you're also drafting these animals that want specific patterns that you're trying to fulfill. I thought this game was fine. It was super hyped, and I played it, and it just was very like, oh yeah, it's good. But it didn't blow me away. And then Red Rising is kind of like a Fantasy Realms drafting game. You're picking up cards and adding to your hand and putting down cards, and at the end of the game, you score every card in your hand. Every card does something different. And depending on where you place the card, you get to activate that column, which might move you up on a track or get you a resource, and that's really it. It's a very simple game. I like both of these games fine. I think they're both serviceable, but having just read Red Rising and then I played Red Rising a little more recently, I think Harmonies is just a lot more abstract, and I would rather just play Cascadia, I think. So I'm going to go to Red Rising. Ashes Reborn, Rise of the Phoenixborn, and Rolling Realms. Ashes Reborn is another... Technically, it's a 1v1 card game, but they added a co-op version into it, and so that's what I've been playing, kind of like a Marvel Champions. You build a deck, play against a... what are they called? Chimera, I think? I love this game. This is my favorite card game, easily. This kind of is another reason why Marvel Champions has tanked so much. I just think Ashes Reborn does everything Champs does, but better. You're like a mage summoning creatures. It plays a little bit more like Magic than Marvel Champions, so it does take a little bit longer, but the sequencing feels more purposeful in Ashes. And then Rolling Realms, super quick roll and write. I have everything for it. I wish I didn't. They're smart. They got me. The collectible little packs, I had to get them. But it's just fine. I never really find myself... I would never say no to Rolling Realms, but I never find myself getting excited to play it. There's a bunch of different cards. Imagine like a stack of cards, and every card plays differently. But every game, you're going to pull 3 of those randomly, and each one you're just rolling 2 dice and using those 2 numbers on 2 different cards, but each one uses those numbers differently. So it's a great idea, super replayable, but I never get like that excited feel that I kind of like to get out of Roll and Write. So this is going to go to Ashes. Okay, Darwin's Journey versus Dorfromantik Sakura. Darwin's Journey. I love this game. This is a great Euro. But the solo mode is horrendous. I hate the solo mode, which is a bummer because I love, I just don't get to I get to play solo more often than I don't. So I would play this. This would be like a top 10 game if the solo mode was anywhere near playable, but it's just not. It's just so convoluted, and it's not playable to me. But in typical Euro fashion, you're just sailing around islands or walking around islands and also sailing. You're trying to discover species to report it back to the museum. To get points, you're mostly just getting points. I love the way you upgrade your worker in this game, though, because you start with blank workers, and you can add these different colored seals to them. So you can kind of build out your worker however you want, to specialize in whatever you want, because certain spots can only take, like, a certain spot says you can go here with anyone, but if you go here with a worker that's got 2 red seals, you get this bonus. But if you go here with a worker that's got 4 red seals, you get a bigger bonus. So if you build out your worker to have 4 red seals, they're really good at this one spot, but maybe they're not so good at the other spots. But I really like the build your own worker as you play. It's super cool. And then Dorfromantik Sakura. Dorfromantik's probably one of my partner and I's most played games. It's super relaxing. It's goal oriented, but it's super chill. I never am like, at the end of the game, I'm just like, wow, look at this little city we built. It's great. I had a great time doing it. We just put on some lo-fi, and you're just trying to complete as many goals as you can in that game. And at the end, the fun part is you get to unlock stuff. So you always get to progress based on how many points you get on this little track, and you might open some boxes that add in new tiles or whatever. But essentially, you're just drawing a tile. It's kind of like Carcassonne, but co-op. You're drawing a tile. You're placing it down. There's different types of landscapes. So in this one, there's cherry blossoms or rice fields. And goals will say, oh, you need a rice field of 4. And so you're just trying to complete those goals. But really, really chill, low stakes. So if you like stakes in your game, stakes, then it might not be for you. But, as much as I love my Euros with high stakes, this is it's such a good chiller. But I got to give it to Darwin's Journey. Oh, actually, the solo mode's just so bad. This is tough. This is actually really tough. I think I'm going to give it to Dorfromantik. Yeah. All right, Primal, The Awakening, or Taverns of Tiefenthal. I think I'm going too slow, so I'm going to speed it up even more. If I talk about one of these games and none of that makes sense, then I apologize. But if it does make sense, or you want to know more, it's all on Board Game Geek. Just search the game. So Primal the Awakening, it's a boss battler with cards. Sequencing is important. Super fun co-op. I love this game. I wish there weren't super big miniatures. I'd love a smaller version of it, but it's a great game. Taverns of Tiefenthal, it's kind of like a push your luck. You're building a tavern. It's fine. I'm going to give it to Primal. The Fox Experiment versus Life of the Amazonia. Life of the Amazonia is Cascadia if you wanted Cascadia with more meat on the bones. The Fox Experiment's kind of like a roll and write Euro. It has some really cool, unique mechanics where you're breeding foxes essentially to create a breed that is more however you want it to be, depending on the father and the mother. But some unique mechanics. But Life of the Amazonia, this basically replaced Cascadia for me. Life of the Amazonia. Nova Roma versus Ezra and Nehemiah. Nova Roma these are both Euro games. Oh, these are both great Euro games that have pretty cool mechanics. Nova Roma, you're placing your worker out onto a grid, and the intersection are the 2 actions you get to take. It's kind of like Trajan themed. But I love this game. Again, I don't love the Micho art, though. I wish it wasn't the Miko or the Micho, or I don't love it. I don't love that. And then Ezra Nehemiah. Man, this is from that company, Garfield Games, and I don't normally love their games, but this is a pretty damn good game. This is the only game of theirs that I've played. I've played it 3 times now, and after 3 plays, I'm like, I don't think I want to get rid of this game because it's got so much replayability. It's just a mishmash of all their other games but they take all the good parts of their other games and smash them together and made a really great Euro. So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it to Ezra and Nehemiah. Azul and Istanbul big box. Azul classic. You're drafting tiles. You're placing them on your board. It's a great game. Istanbul is the first time I ever played Istanbul. I only played it once. Base game. I didn't play with the expansions. It was fine. It was fine. Azul. Maracaibo or Pioneer Rails. Maracaibo, great Euro. Same thing as Pirates of Maracaibo. It's a spinoff of, or this Pirates is a spinoff of this. This is more like the full board Euro game where you're racing around with your ship. You're getting new cards. You're going up tracks. It's just Euro goodness. And then Pioneer Rails was a super mid roll and write. I thought it was super okay. I only played it once, so it might be better than I give it credit for. But it's gonna be Maracaibo. Sky Team or Golem. This is tough. Sky Team's fun, really fun. Deserves all the hype, I think. 2-player. You're playing like pilot and a co-pilot. The only thing is but you can't talk. You're pilots that can't talk to each other, but you're trying to land a plane in various conditions, which is really fun. And then Golem's just a Euro. It's a Euro, and you're moving across tracks, and you're upgrading your player board, and all the normal Euro stuff. But it's also very good. There's like a marble selection that you do in Golem, which is really fun. But I've never really played anything like Sky Team, so I'm going to give the nod to Sky Team. Great Western Trail New Zealand or Kingdom Builder Big Box 2nd Edition. Kingdom Builder was another one of those late night. I could pull it out and we just casually play a game. Our brains are fried. We just want to play something, though. So same like Carcassonne. It's fun in that manner. It's kind of a pain in the ass to set up, though, I will say. You got to find all the specific cards and tiles. And yeah. Great Western Trail. I think this is the best Great Western Trail. I love all. Actually, I haven't played Argentina, but this is my favorite of the two that I have played. It's a freaking table hog, though, but it's really good. I'm going to give it to Great Western Trail. Marrakesh or Scout. Very different games. Marrakesh is one of the best, more recent Euros I've played. I love it. It's just a game of mini games. If you're familiar with Stefan Feld's Trajan, it's kind of like that, but in my opinion, I think it's better. And you get to drop little things down a tower, which is fun. And then Scout is just super simple card playing. You're making runs or pairs, and it's a great time. It's so simple, too. Once you play it, you play it over and over, but it's going to be Marrakesh. All right. Wandering Towers or Obsession. This will be tough. Wandering Towers is just chaotic fun. I mean, it's got memory elements to it, which it's just chaos. If you just embrace the chaos, it's a really good time. You're stacking towers and hiding each other's wizards and stuff. It's a good time. And then Obsession, extremely thematic Euro that just keeps on giving. I've played it quite a bit. I've not played the new characters expansion, but I hope to. This is going to go to Obsession. All right, we're at 48 minutes, and we're here on the bar. So I will say this looks grim. This is looking grim. But once we reach like here, it's going to start speeding up because we'll start to see games again, and I'm just going to speed round them. All right, Namala and Island Something Shiny. Island Something Shiny it's a solo experience with a card-based system. It's really fun. And then Namalia is kind of like a cartographer's-ish scoring, but you're playing cards and building a habitat in front of you. It's going to be Namalia. Oak or New York City. New York City is a super underrated auction game. Very underrated. It's a great game, but Oak is even better. Same thing. Very unique worker placement where you can modify the workers to be to have like a specialty. It's going to go Oak. Arena of the Contest, which the co-op version, which is called Tenera's Adventures, or Waffle Time, which is just kind of like another one of those like abstract puzzle-y games where you're like building a waffle in front of you, it's good. I thought it was going to be huge because it's very like Cascadia-esque. It's just very simple. You're just building out patterns in front of you, but it kind of just flopped. I thought it's okay. Tenera's I really like, a really good dungeon crawler system. I just have found I'm bad at playing dungeon crawlers or long games. I'm just not good at the commitment. But I am still going to go Arena. All right, Resurgence or Fleet the Dice game. Resurgence is just a really fun Euro game, worker placement with you're building up a base, you're going out to different areas of the board to collect things. Very simple. And then Fleet the Dice game, just one of the most satisfying roll and writes still. It just holds up. Very combo. You're fishing. You're collecting fish, putting out boats, and going to town to do other things. I don't really know thematically other than you're just fishing. But it's a great game. I'm going to go Fleet. Push or Genshin Taro. Push is one of those. It looks like Uno, right? But it's a classic. Man, it's not classic. It's new, but it feels like a classic. It's really simple. It's just a push your luck game where you're trying to collect cards of certain colors, but it's way more fun than it gets credit for. And then Genshin Taro, this is the only fan-made game I own, but man, is it fun. It's a deck builder-ish. You're getting like a collection of 4 heroes, and you smash all their cards together, but you can upgrade that. It's a co-op game. You're fighting a boss. It's really good. I'm going to go Genshin Taro. Sippy. Lost Ruins of Arnak or Revive. Lost Ruins of Arnak is really fun. The characters expansion makes it even better, but I still feel like it's like you always got to go up on that track, and that part's not fun because it's like how much choice do you have? Sometimes it's like you can go up the track or you can do something fun. And I'm like, well, I want to do something fun, but if I want to win, I got to go up the track, so I guess I'll go up the track. And it's just like, well, how much choice is there really? And then Revive. Revive is one of the best games I've played in the last couple of years. Super fun, extremely replayable, asymmetric, combo-y. Oh, it hits. It hits so good. I'm going to go Revive. Rise of Nobility or Santa Maria. Rise of Nobility with the expansion notably is a fun little... Is it a worker placement? It's been a second since I've played. It's kind of like I want to say it's dice drafting or something. I can't remember. It's good. It's just a pretty standard Euro. Again, don't love the art. I think the art's fine. I don't know if that's the Micho. I think it is. And then Santa Maria. I love Santa Maria. Same designers as Revive. You're drafting dice. Or not. You're not necessarily drafting dice. You are. You're drafting dice. And then you activate rows or columns. And you start building buildings on those rows and columns. So every time you activate a row or column, it gets stronger and stronger. Unfortunately, it does have the colonization theme, which is a bummer because that's not fun. But they just remade it into Salt Fjord, I believe is the name. So I'm looking forward to trying that to see if it will replace Santa Maria. But I'm going to go Santa Maria. Earthborn Rangers or Federation. Oh, this is tough. Federation's one of my favorite 3 or more player Euro. It's like bidding, area control. Oh, it's just so unique because there's this big like area in the middle of the map with all the workers' placement spots. And every worker is a coin with 2 sides. So not only does that matter, what side you put it on, but then on what's the left or the right of the council, that matters because you're voting in a law on the left or the right. And so that your chips have values on them. And the total value that's higher, the left or right, amongst all players, gets voted into law. But then you're also vying for each row of the council because whoever has the most value in each row, that person scores points. So there's just a lot of consideration from just placing one worker, and I love it. Super fun. And then Earthborn Rangers is kind of like a LCG, chill in the future, out in nature, and you're just kind of going around the valley and interacting with animals and stuff like that. It's very chill, but this is one of the few campaign games I've finished. A buddy and I finished this game. I loved it. 2-player. But I just don't think it can beat Federation, though I do like Earthborn Rangers a lot. Disney Lorcana or For Northwood, a solo trick-taking game. I really wanted to like Disney Lorcana. I think it's good. I think it's just good. And then For Northwood, I think is really impressive design. I've only played each one a couple of times, but I'm going to go For Northwood. Pharaon and Findorf. Pharaon is a cool Egyptian-themed game. There's like the board is built out as a rondel. Each one's a different section. You're just collecting resources and spend them to get things. Pretty typical Euro. Findorf is a more unique Euro. It's more of like an engine builder. You can move your person as far, further down your engine or up to 3 spots down your engine and do that action. I like both of these games, but I do feel like Pharaon is more replayable, and for that reason, Pharaon. Burn Cycle or Ethnos. Burn Cycle, this huge game you're breaking into corporations in the future as robots. Super asymmetrical, tons of rules, tons of chip theory rules, so there's some problems there. And Ethnos, one of my favorite games. Same thing really at a larger group. I love this game. You're just super simple. You take a card, you play a card, or you play a group of cards, and then you're just doing area control on the map with different factions, and each faction has its own unique ability. It's gonna go Ethnos. Spirit Island or Just One. This just doesn't even seem fair. Just One's my favorite party game. You can play with literally anybody, and they will have a good time, probably. Or Spirit Island, the best pandemic-style game, and just more replayable than any game I probably have. Probably my most played game, or one of. I'm going to go Spirit Island, but I love Just One. Star Wars Destiny or Tidal Blades 2. Okay, Tidal Blades 2 is a really fun, like, Euro dungeon crawler. I call it Euro. I guess technically it's not. It's not Euro. It's not Euro. Ignore me. You're just playing. Sometimes the decisions feel like Euro. You're playing a card into this 3x3 grid, and then you're activating the column or the row that card went into. Sometimes it's going to give you movement. Sometimes it's going to give you an attack. It'll give you resources that you can spend to do other things. Super tight. Really well designed. Every scenario, my partner and I are 12 scenarios in, and everyone has felt different. The characters feel unique, and it's just a fun system. It's the simplest, the cleanest dungeon crawl design I've played. The enemies work super easily, but they work well. The map books go a long way. The hero, it's just good. It's really good. And then Star Wars Destiny, I have this on there. I played this mostly the co-op version, the homemade. Some fan made a co-op version, and I really like it. I really like Star Wars Destiny, but I'm gonna give it to Tidal Blades. Mother of Frankenstein versus Beacon Patrol. Mother of Frankenstein. This is a escape room puzzle game in 3 parts. Some of those parts really, really impressed me. Some of them were extremely frustrating, but still a really impressive experience as someone that loves escape rooms and puzzles. And then Beacon Patrol. Beacon Patrol is something special. You're just placing down a tile and moving your little boat. This is mostly, I only played this solo. But man, it's just one of those, put on some music and you just chill out, whenever. If you're looking to chill and turn your brain off, you can min-max it if you want and find the perfect thing. But if you're just wanting to, you just put a tile down and move and score at the end. So it's really good. So I'm going to give it to Beacon Patrol. Brussels 1893, Belle Epoch or Automania. I love Automania, and it's a shame that's not been reprinted. A shame. It's just a classic Euro game where you're building cars, but same designers as Revive, and they just make their games fun and unique. I just always have fun when I'm playing those Euros. Those are my favorite Euros to play. I don't love Euros where I'm like agonizing because the resources are so tight and I can never do what I want. Automania, you kind of get whatever you want and you just make it, and you're making cars and getting points, and it's fun. It's more like an assembly line of making cars. Great game. And then Brussels, I think if Federation didn't exist, I would like Brussels more than I do. I like Brussels. It's fine. It's a pretty classic Euro. It has a similar thing where you're like, there's a grid and you're placing your worker onto actions, but that grid is not always fully available. And it's simple, but it's good. It's a good game. But I'm going to give it to Automania. Evenfall versus Shake That City. Shake That City, it's a fun little gimmicky game. It's kind of like Cartographers, but with physical pieces. You're putting things out onto a little area, a city, and though different color tiles will score differently. And then Evenfall feels like Res Arcana if Res Arcana were good. Ooh, not really. I think Res Arcana is fine, but Evenfall plays a lot like Res Arcana. It's a tableau builder with cards, very good art, a little more area control. It's a great game. I'm gonna give it to Evenfall. All right, Subterra 2 or Merlin. Subterra 2 is just, I don't like the theme as much as Subterra, but it's just a fun co-op game that you'll probably lose 9 times out of 10, but it's just a good time. It's a good time every time, even if it's frustrating. You get like 2 action points and you just spread them out however you want, and you're working. And this one is very like Indiana Jones. You're going in and you're trying to get the relic and escape with it before the volcano explodes and the lava kills you all. super fun. And then Merlin, I like to play this more. It's kind of like people call it a roll and move Euro, and like, yeah, technically it is. But if you know Stefan Feld, he always gives you plenty of ways to mitigate everything. So it's not like you're locked in. And I really want to play it more, but it's going to go Subterra. All right, what are we at? We're at an hour. I'll try and speed it up even more. Tillytum or Tiletum or Tiletum. Super fun Euro. And it's doing Euro things. And then Savannah Park is more like you're putting tiles down. It's a puzzle game. It's kind of like a bingo-esque game. So one person chooses a tile and everyone gets that same tile and puts it down. And you're just trying to maximize your points. I really like Savannah Park. I really like Tillytum too. I'm going to go Savannah Park. Mage Knight or Praga Caput Regni. Mage Knight, best solo, probably the best solo experience if you're looking for something that's like a big, juicy game. Man, every game feels different, and it just racks your brain. It's a super fun puzzle to play. And then Praga is probably my favorite Vladimir Suchi game. Suki. I need to play it more. I feel like I've not found a game of his that I enjoy after 3 plays, and I'm hoping this is the one. Some really fun combo elements. There's a lot to like, but I'm going to go Mage Knight. Cthulhu Death May Die or Endless Winter Paleo Americans. I love Cthulhu. I love me Cthulhu. It's just a fun beer and pretzels game, but man, it always comes down to the wire, and it's super fun. And then Endless Winter is it's a Euro deck building game. It feels like it's a little too long. You kind of get everything done that you want to get done, and everyone kind of just does everything. So I wish it were maybe a little bit shorter, so I'm going to go Death May Die. All right, we're starting to get some bleeds into the repeat. So we got Zhang Wao or Gugong. Gugong, I love the worker placement, but you're using a card, and if you put a higher value, you also get a bonus. I'm going to go Gugong. Marvel Unite or Mythwin. Mythwin is another one of those. You just play. It's kind of like a Stardew Valley style game. Every character has a unique play style, and you just play a session, or you play a season, or you play a year, and you just put it away, and then you pick up from where you were. So your town's just ever growing. There's no win. There's no win condition. You just play, which that could bother some people. My partner and I loved it, but we've also stopped playing because we're just not good at replaying games. So I'm gonna go Marvel United. Do I like Draft and Write more than Mythwin? No, I like Mythwin more. Ooh, Grand Austria Hotel versus Civolution. Civolution might be my new favorite game. It's so good. Another one of those games I was afraid to play because I don't like Civ games. But this really just feels like a Euro. And honestly, I think one of the most impressive things is for a game with like 22 actions and a rule book that is daunting. Once you learn it, you almost don't reference that rule book ever because the iconography is so good and everything just makes sense. I've only played it twice, but I'm going to give it to Civolution. Nucleum or Alhambra. Nucleum I really like. I was afraid. I don't love Brass. I think Brass is kind of mid. But Nucleum cleaned up a lot of the problems I have with Brass. Super fun. I've played this one about 5 times. The solo mode's awful, but if you're interested in Nucleum and you want to play solo, but you can't stand Turksy modes like me, unfortunately, at least some of them, someone named Cell, you can just look him up, Cell. If you search Cell Nucleum, he created a card-based, kind of like an Automa from Stonemaier game or something. Very easy to run. It's really good. And then Alhambra's fine. It's fine. It's just fine. I'm gonna go Nucleum. I don't need to say much. It's Alhambra. The Loop or Lunar Rush. Lunar Rush has some good ideas. You're like bringing resources from Earth to the moon and vice versa. Has some really good ideas, but I'd rather play the Loop. I'd rather play Leviathan Wilds. All right, we're getting there. Thunder Road Vendetta. I really liked this game. I wish I had another play of it. I played it with some friends and we played really late, so it wasn't probably the best showing. It has a lot of promise though, but I think with apparently I chose. Let me undo it. I wouldn't have chosen it. I was gonna choose Noon Attack. I think with Joyride coming out, I'd rather play Joyride. So Noon Attack. I would rather play Thunder Road over Keep the Heroes Out. Ooh, Heaven and Ale. Heaven and Ale is one of my favorite Euro games. It's just This is one of those games with a tight economy that I actually like because it's as tight as you want to make it, and just it's damn good. But so is Lorenzo. But I'm gonna go Heaven and Nail. Hansa Teutonica or Fabled. Fabled is a really unique game. You're like building out paths and going along those paths. I've never played another game like it, but Hansa is also a unique game. Hansa is my favorite, probably my favorite 3 or 4 player Euro that I never get to play. It does suffer from the whole, it's kind of like Root, in which everyone needs to be policing everyone, because if someone's not participating in that policing, it kind of falls apart. But on those games that hit, ooh, it's juicy. I'm going Hansa. Mistborn or Role Player Adventures. Role Player Adventures is like an old choose your own adventure with dice rolling and you activate cards, and it's real damn good. I've played the expansion now and the base game. I really like Role Player Adventures. I'm going with that. 51st State is an engine builder. It's fine. It's dated. It feels dated. I would go Amalfi. I'd go Far Away over 51st State. 51st State. I always want to say 51st Dates. Bullet, which is like a bullet hell puzzle game with a 2-minute timer, and it's chaos. But man, it's fun. And it's also got a pretty fun co-op mode, although it's brutal. It's harsh. It's not an easy one. It's more like you kind of have to strategically pick who you're playing. But ooh, I'm going Bullet. Barcelona or Capital Lux 2 Generations. Barcelona is an extremely good Euro game. It just keeps on giving. It's one of those games where you end up with like 250 points because points are just, I mean, you could pass on your turn and be like, take 10 points. And you're like, all right, I'll take 10 points. It's just, I like getting points. It's fun. And then Capital Lux 2, it's just like a card puzzle game that is unique every time you play it. And I love this game, but it's going to go Barcelona. I keep saying it's going to go, and by it's I mean I'm going to go. Apiary or Imperium Horizons. I've fallen off Imperium quite a bit because I think the solo mode it's just another Terzi mode where I spend more time playing the AI than I do playing myself, and like I just don't like that. But with Horizons, they added on like a practice mode, which is really just the way I play now. And it's good. It's really good, and I will go Imperium over Apiary. Age of Innovation or Next Station London, so different. Next Station London's a roll and write or a flip and write. I really like Next Station London. I've played this game a ton. They're just so different. I just don't. I mean, right now, I think Civolution's kind of really bumped Age of Innovation down for me because I just don't know if there's room for both, and I'd rather play Civolution any day. So I'm going to go Next Station London. I really like that. Codenames or Codenames Duet? I like the Duet version. Codenames or Scholars? Codenames. Keyflower or Footprints? Footprints was kind of just a nothing burger that came out. I like it. It's just got bad graphic design, and it just kind of exists. I would play it, though. I'd play it again. And then Keyflower is just one of the best bidding games out there. I love Keyflower. Very unique Euro if you like bidding. It's really good. Keyflower. Pirates of Maracaibo or Kinfire Delve? Kinfire Delve is a co-op card game where you're just trying to get through the deck to the bottom to fight the boss by performing tests. It's 1 or 2 players cooperative. It's really good, but Pirates of Maracaibo. Wingspan or Kinfire Delve? And to be specific, I should have put it, but I did the Wingspan Asia, the 2-player one, which kind of added a little more depth to the 2-player mode. So I'm going to choose Wingspan, but that's the version of it. Stroganoff or Cloudspire. Cloudspire, I only play solo. It's the puzzliest of puzzle games. It's just really rewarding, but also long. And it's a chip theory game, so there's rules problems. They just are. Stroganoff. Tabriz or Cloudspire? Cloudspire. For sale or door? All right. I'm not going to put both Dwarf Romantics. I'm just going to count Sakura as the one. Skytear Horde or Stonespire? Stonespine. Stonespine is like if Cartographers was building out a dungeon with cards. I love it. It's really, really good. Great design. And then Skytear Horde is it's literally co-op Magic the Gathering. Also really good. Can be tough. It's not a game where you only draw cards when you defeat enemies, which kind of feels strange at first, but once you get the flow of it, it's really good. but I'm going to go Stone Spine. Windmill Valley or Slay the Spire, the board game. Really impressed by Slay the Spire, the board game. Cooperative card deck building game where you're progressing through a dungeon, trying to get to the end, defeating bosses. Solo, Windmill Valley all day. Co-op, I love Slay the Spire co-op. It's super fun. I'm going to go Slay the Spire. Dune Imperium or Amerigo. Amerigo is fun. I need to play it more, but I really like you're dropping cubes down a tower, and depending on what number of what color, some of them get stuck intentionally. That tells you how strong actions are that round. So I really like that, but I'm going to go Dune Imperium. I will go Amerigo over Ticket to Ride. Tainted Grail, I played a little bit. It's a campaign game. I just fell off it. I think it's a good one, kind of like a dark Arthurian legend vibes. It feels like a choose-your-own adventure with cool card combat. Yeah, I'll go Tainted Grail over AI. Lockup, a role-player tale. This is like a worker placement game. It was fine. And then Newton is just a great Euro game. It's a Euro's Euro. I'm going to go Newton. Carcassonne or Cascadia? Carcassonne. Star Wars Outer Rim or Cascadia? I'm going to go Outer Rim. Only because Life of the Amazonia, I think, has just kind of replaced Cascadia for me. Raw or the White Castle? White Castle. Oh, only 9 actions, guys. There's only 9 actions in this game. Yes, and it's good. It's a good game. Do I think it got blown out of proportion a little bit? Yeah, I think it's a good game. The combos are fun. Is it the second coming of Christ? I don't know. Is it better than Raw? No. Raw. It is better than Freelancers, though. Red Rising or Concordia? I love Concordia. It's just, I don't want to be that guy that calls a board game elegant, but, I mean, it's elegant, y'all. It is. It is. I'm going to go Concordia. Ashes or Forest Shuffle? Forest Shuffle is a fun little... You're like building out a forest in front of you with cards and animals. You're tucking the animals onto trees, and they just score points differently. It's really good though, but it's gonna be Ashes. I will take Forest Shuffle over Rolling Realms. First Rat. I don't really remember First Rat. You're moving up a track. You're like rats trying to build a spaceship. I remember being like cute and novel, but it's gonna be Dorf Romantic. It's gonna be Darwin's Journey. Splendor Duel. It's like Splendor, but it's a duel. Primal. Splendor over Tiefenthal. Andromeda's Edge. I only played it once on TTS. I really liked it. Want to play it more, but Life of the Amazonia. Andromeda's Edge over Fox Experiment. Bitoku. It's a Euro. I'm just gonna call them Euros if they're Euros. It's a Euro. If you like Euros, it's a good one. And Tiwanaku is kind of like a logic puzzle game. Really cool. Oh, yeah, but it's going to be Bitoku just because I like Euros. If you like puzzle games like Turing Machine, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Turing Machine, which I do as well. Check out Tiwanaku, but Bitoku. Ezra and Nehemiah Flip Town. Flip Town, rolling right, or flipping right, but you're creating like poker hands as well. It's fun, but Ezra and Nehemiah. Nova Roma over Flip Town. Expeditions. I feel like Expedition gets a bad rap. Technically, it's the Scythe sequel, but I don't like Scythe almost at all. I think it's But Expeditions blew me away. It's super fun engine builder. If you like engine builders, it's like an engine builder that you play cards and activate that card, but you can put a special worker on it to do even more things. But other than that, it's just an engine builder you're chasing points. But it's really good. I would go... I think Azul, I'd play at any players more, but I really like Expeditions. Hamburg or Maracaibo? Hamburg, it's a Euro. It's a Stefan Feld Euro, and it's really good, but Maracaibo. Hamburg over Pioneer Rails. Divinus was pretty forgettable legacy experience. I'm going to go Lunar Rush. Sky Team or Fallout? Fallout follows the same kind of design philosophy as Star Wars Outer Rim. It's like you're playing Fallout or Cthulhu Death May Die. Very simple to play. You take a couple actions. You move around the map. You're trying to achieve a goal. But there's like story cards set in the Fallout universe. It's actually really fun co-op or Sky Team. I'll go Sky Team, I think. Gollum over Fallout. Boop. It's just an abstract 1v1. Play your cats on the bed. You're trying to be the last one on the bed, or I can't remember. You're trying to like move around. It's kind of like a chess abstract style game, but it's good. But New Zealand. I will go Boop over Kingdom Builder. Too Many Bones. It's an adventure RPG game. It's grown on me a lot. This game I've sold and rebought multiple times, but now it is a forever game. But Marrakesh. Too Many Bones over Scout. Come Together is a fun little worker placement game with a nice little twist, and Riverside is, I think these are the same designers, maybe same as Revive. They just take a game that's just like, oh, it's just a worker placement, but they put a nice little twist on them. And the Riverside's a really fun roll and write, but I'm gonna go Come Together. Obsession or Joyride? I need to play Joyride more. I really like Joyride, but I've only played it once, and it wasn't at the right player count, so I'm gonna go Obsession. Wandering Towers over Joyride. Castles of Burgundy. It's a Euro classic. One of the best 2-player Euros out there. Castles of Burgundy. Root. I love Root, but I never get to play it. I never get to play it with recurring people. But it's better than Oak. It is. Oranienburger, Canal, or Arena of the Contest. I'm not a big Uwe fan, as you might find out through this channel. But I do think that this is, I'd have to think about it, one of, if not his best games. It's just, I just never have fun. That's the only way I can describe it. The puzzle is good and it stimulates my brain, but I think there are other games that do that, and I also have fun playing them. So I'm going Tenaris. It's better than Waffle Time, though. Carpe Diem, super underrated Stefan Feld game. It's a great Euro. I'm going to go Carpe Diem over Fleet. Endeavor, this is a pleasant surprise this year. Very simple engine builder, but with like exploration. I've only played it co-op, but I love the co-op. I would rather play the Endeavor co-op than Genshin. Oh, this one's tough. I love Escape. Escape. It's a co-op Indiana Jones chaos. You're all rolling dice, trying to move to other rooms, building out the map, getting treasure, and getting out. It's 10 minutes flat, or less if you beat it. But it's a great experience, but Revive is just a banger. Ooh, I'm going to go Escape over Lost Ruins. Isofarian Guard is a crazy, large narrative adventure with a really fun bag building combat system, but there are certainly flaws. It's bloated. It takes a lot. It's very grindy, super grindy. And then Guild Academies of Valeria. It's just a good Euro. It's just good. I'm going to go Isofarian Guard. Paris. I like Paris. I just like Paris. I love Santa Maria. Paris is a kind of like a Euro. Rise of Nobility or Paris. I'm going to Rise of Nobility with the expansion. Isle of Skye, a pretty fun bidding game or an auction game with the scoring of cartographers, but Federation is just next level. Earthborn over Isle of Skye. House of Cats. I love House of Cats. Another designed by Revive people. They just take a roll and write and just make it. It's one of those I played. I'm like, how has nobody thought of this? It's just smart. I'm going to House of Cats. Love Letter. It's a classic. I love Love Letter. And then Guild of Merchant Explorers feels like a roll and write that they just made into a full production because. But it's really good. It's really good. But Love Letter's so good. I gotta go Love Letter. Farron or Amsterdam, another Euro. I love Amsterdam, actually. I'm gonna go Amsterdam. Ethnos or Arborea. Arborea is another Euro. Fun little unique Euro. You're like moving down tracks, but your workers go across this little thing, and you can hop off whenever you want to go on better tracks. So you can stay there and go off a better track later on, or you can jump off and get, lesser rewards but quicker. It's a great game, but Ethnos is a banger. Arborea over Burn Cycle. Deep Rock Galactic, surprisingly extremely fun as a board game. Follows into that Cthulhu Death May Die camp, just like a fun beer and pretzels game. But Spirit Island. Just one over Deep Rock. Corrosion, pretty mid-Euro. Shipyard, pretty mid-Euro. But I'd give it to Shipyard. Tidal Blades or Glass Road, again, not a huge Uwe fan. This is one of the ones I like more than his other ones, but Tidal Blades is better. I'd rather play co-op Star Wars Destiny. Heat. I like Heat, but I think Joyride's going to replace it. I know they're a little bit different. Heat, it just almost feels like too much like a simulation to me. There's never any stakes. It's just always a pack to where, like, after 3 laps, I'm like, did we need to play 3 laps or could we have just played 1? And I kind of feel like you could just play 1, so I'm going to go Beacon Patrol. I'll give it to Heat over Mother of Frankenstein. Mother of Frankenstein had some flaws. Rise, if you like going up on tracks, this is a game where that's all you do. You go up on tracks, but it's fun to go up on tracks. We give it to Automania, though. I'll give it to Brussels. Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria, this is another worker placement that's just kind of mid. I'm not a huge worker placement fan unless there's a little more depth, so Evenfall. Shake That City. Sea Salt and Paper, this is another, like, it kind of got blown out of proportion, I think. It's fun. It's fun, really fun at 2. I really like it at 2. I really dislike it at 3. It just becomes luck at 3. 2 is really solid, but sub-terra 2. I'll take Merlin over Sea Salt. Vienna, surprisingly fun Euro point salad, but I think I'm going Savannah Park. Dilly-dum. Miss over Carcassonne. It's co-op Carcassonne, and it's damn good, but Mage Knight is better. Praga or Mists. I'm going to go Mists. Gugong or Cthulhu Death May Die. I'm going Death May Die. Gugong or Endless Winter. Gugong. All right, boys, I think we're in. Endless Winter over Zhang Wow. Civolution over Marvel United. Grand Austria. I'm just not even going to think too much. I'm just going with my gut. Marvel United. Ooh. Amritsar. Oh, Nucleum. The Loop. Leviathan Wilds. Lunar Rush. Heaven and Ale. Lorenzo. Champs. Hansa. Role Player Adventures. Fabled. Bullet. Planet Unknown. Tapestry. Barcelona. Imperium. Capital Lux 2. Ooh, this one's tough. Codenames Duet. Next Station London. Codenames. Age of Innovation. Scholars. Ooh, Keyflower. Pirates of Maracaibo. Wingspan. Kinfire Delve. Oh, this was brutal. Stroganoff. For Sale. Cloudspire. Kathmandu. Stone Spine. Slay the Spire. Skytear Horde. Dune Imperium. Amerigo. Tainted Grail. AI. The Reckoners. Carcassonne. I think Carcassonne is not going to be beat by a lot. I will take Newton over Star Wars. Star Wars over Lockup. Cascadia over Lockup. Oh, this is tough. Raw over Concordia. Concordia over the White Castle. White Castle over Red Rising. Red Rising over Freelancers. Freelancers over Harmonies. Ashes over Dorf Romantic. Dorf Romantic over Forest Shuffle. Darwin's Journey over Forest Shuffle. Forest Shuffle over First Rat. Rolling Realms over First Rat. Prime over Life of the Amazonia. Life of the Amazonia over Splendor Duel. Andromeda's Edge. Splendor Duel over Fox Experiment. Fox Experiment over Taverns. Ezra over Bitoku. Nova Roma over Bitoku. Bitoku over Fliptown. Tiwanaku over Fliptown. Maracaibo over Expeditions. Hamburg over Expeditions. Expeditions over Pioneer Rails. Azul over Pioneer Rails. Istanbul, I guess. Sky Team. Gollum. Fallout. Marrakesh. Too Many Bones or Great Western Trail. Too Many Bones. Great Western Trail over Scout. Scout over Boop. Obsession over Come Together. Wandering Towers over Come Together. Joyride over Come Together. Oh, Root over Castles in Burgundy. Oh, this is so tough. I think if I had a consistent Root group, it would be Root, hands down, no question. But I don't, so Castles of Burgundy. Root over Namalia. Oak over Namalia. New York City over Namalia. What are we at? We're at an hour and a half. I got 30 minutes to get through this. I think we're cooking now, though. Carpe Diem. Fleet over Tenares. Tenares over Resurgence. Resurgence over Iranian Burger. Revive over Endeavor. It's just so different. I really like Endeavor, but I feel like I can see me getting burnt out on Endeavor. I would always play Escape. Endeavor over Lost Ruins. Genshin Terra over Lost Ruins. Lost Ruins over Push. Santa Maria over Isofarian Guard. Isofarian Guard over Rise of Nobility. Guild Academies over Rise of Nobility. Federation over House of Cats. Earthborn over House of Cats. House of Cats over Isle of Sky. Isle of Sky over Fort Northwood. Oh, I mean, I'm going to go Amsterdam over Love Letter. Pharaon over Love Letter. Ooh, Findorf over Love Letter, I guess. Ooh, Ethnos over Spirit Island. Ethnos is just a freaking bang. I mean, Spirit Island, I think if I were ranking my favorite games, Spirit Island would be higher. But Ethnos is so fun and just so quick. 1 to 2 players, Spirit Island. 3 or more, Ethnos. So I'm gonna go Spirit Island still. Ethnos over Just One. Arborea. I'm going Just One over Arborea. Very different games. Arborea over Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock over Burn Cycle. Tidal Blades over Shipyard. Star Wars Destiny over Shipyard. Shipyard over Glass Road. Glass Road over Corrosion. Beacon Patrol over Automania. Automania over Heat. Brussels over Heat. Heat over Rise. Mother of Frankenstein over Rise. Let's see. Evenfall or Subterra. Evenfall over Merlin. Merlin over Shake That City. Sea Salt and Paper. Mage Knight. Carcassonne over Savannah. Or Miss of Carcassonne. Praga. I'm going Savannah Park. Tilly-Tum. Tilly-Tum. Vienna. Death May Die or Civolution. I could see Civolution taking the place, but right now it's Death May Die. Civolution over Gugong. Grand Austria over Gugong. Gugong over Marvel United. Marvel United over Endless Winter. Emiratsar over Endless Winter. Mythwind over Endless Winter. Endless Winter over Draft and Right. Zhenghua over Draft and Right. Nassau over Draft and Right. Heaven and Nail over Nucleum, though it's close. Lorenzo over Nucleum, it's also close. Oh man, this feels wrong. Marvel Champions over Nucleum. Nucleum over Nunatak. The Loop over Nunatak. Leviathan Wilds over Nunatak, I think. Lunar Rush. I really like Nunatak. I think you could probably play Sushi Go and get the same deal, but if you like the physical element, it's nice to look at, but it's super simple. Nunatak over Alhambra. Vendetta over Alhambra. Keep the Heroes Out over Alhambra. Oh, Hansa or Bullet. Those are tough. Bullet. Same thing with Root. It's just like if I constantly played Hansa with the same group, I could see that being like a top 3 game of all time. It's just my experiences have been hit or miss with it. I love it. I want to play it more, but it's not as consistent depending on the group. Planet Unknown. Hansa. Tapestry. Role Player Adventures. Amalfi. Fabled. Mistborn. Far Away. Applejack just might be the worst. It just might be the bottom. 51st State. Some of these are just hard to compare. Barcelona. Duet over Imperium. Next Station London over Imperium. I do like Duet much more than I like regular Codenames, so I can see Codenames dropping a bit. Capital Lux 2 over Codenames. Codenames over Apiary. Age of Innovation over Apiary. Scholars over Apiary. Expedition Newtail over Apiary. Keyflower Stroganov. Ooh, Stroganov. It's close though. Keyflower for sale. These are both so good for sale. Keyflower over Cloudspire. Pirates over Cloudspire. Cloudspire over Wingspan. Kathmandu over Wingspan. Wingspan over Tabriz. Kinfire Dell over Tabriz. I think both Footbirds over. I think Tabriz will be pretty far down as well. Dune Imperium over Stone Spine. Stone Spine over Amerigo. Slay the Spire over Amerigo. Skyter Horde over Amerigo. If you like Amerigo and you haven't played Marrakesh, I think Marrakesh just kind of does it better. They really are different games, but the Cube Tower and some getting stuck, I think Marrakesh just does it better. Windmill Valley. Amerigo over Cartographers. Tainted. I'll give the nod to Cartographers. Ra or Carcassonne. Oh, I think Ra. I mean, I love Carcassonne though. Concordia or Carcassonne? Yeah, Concordia. Definitely like Carcassonne more than White Castle. Newton or White Castle? They're both. I'm gonna give it to Newton. I'm gonna give it to Outer Rim. I will give it to White Castle. Cascadia or Red Rising? Cascadia. Red Rising over Lockup. Freelancers over Lockup. I didn't really like Lockup very much. Harmonies over Lockup. Ashes over Primal. Dwarf Romantic over Primal. Oh, Darwin's Journey. Primal. Darwin's Journey over Life of the Amazonia. Life of the Amazonia over Forest Shuffle. Forest Shuffle over Andromeda's Edge. Andromeda's Edge over Rolling Realms. Rolling Realms over Splendor Duel. Splendor Duel over First Rat. Fox Experiment over First Rat. First Rat over Taverns. Maracaibo over Ezra and Nehemiah. Hamburg over Nehemiah. Expeditions over Nehemiah. Ezra over Azul. Novaroma over Azul. Batoku over Azul. Azul over Tiwanaku. Tiwanaku over Istanbul. We're doing it. We're almost halfway. It's kind of crazy that we're almost only halfway. But, hey, if you like me comparing things, then you got a little bit more. A little bit more. Fliptown over Istanbul. Marrakesh over Sky Team. Too Many Bones over Sky Team. Great Western Trail New Zealand over Sky Team. Sky Team over Scout. Scout over Gollum. Gollum over Boop. Fallout over Boop. Lunar Rush over Boop. Boop over Divinus. Kingdom Builder over Divinus. Castles of Burgundy over Obsession. Root over Obsession. Obsession over Oak. Oak over Wandering Towers. New York City over Wandering Towers. Wandering Towers over Namalia. Joyride over Namalia. Come Together over Namalia. Namalia over Riverside. Riverside over Ela and Something Shiny. Revive or Carpe Diem? Revive. Carpe Diem. Escape. Escape. Endeavor. Fleet. Tenaris. Genshin. Lost Ruins over Resurgence. Push over Resurgence. Federation over Santa Maria. Santa Maria over Earthborn. Isofarian Guard over Earthborn. Earthborn over Guild Academies. House of Cats over Guild Academies. Isle of Sky or Guild Academies. Isle of Sky. Guild Academies over Four Northwood. Four Northwood over Rise to Nobility. Rise to Nobility over Disney Lorcana. Disney Lorcana over Paris. Spirit Island over Amsterdam. Ethnos over Amsterdam. Just One over Amsterdam. Arborea over Amsterdam. Deep Rock over Amsterdam. Amsterdam over Burn Cycle. Farron over Burn Cycle. Burn Cycle over Findorf. Beacon Patrol over Tidal Blades. Tidal Blades over Automania. Star Wars Destiny. Automania. Brussels. Heat or Shipyard? Heat. Shipyard. Mother of Frankenstein. Rise. Mage Knight. Miss over Carcassonne or Subterra 2? Subterra 2. Evenfall or Miss over wonder if you know what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry to do this. I might do this a couple more times. One, it will help speed up the process, but I'm just gonna count Carcassonne as all Carcassonne. So this is gonna get removed. Savannah Park or Evenfall. Something about Savannah Park, man. It's just a fun little bingo game. I'm going Savannah Park. Dilly Dum. Evenfall. Tilly Tum over Merlin. Vienna or Merlin. Right now, it's going to be Merlin. Vienna over Sea Salt. Praga over Sea Salt. Oof. Death May Die. It's so good. Civolution or Heaven and Nail. I could see this swapping, but Heaven and Nail. Same with this. I think right now Civolution's going to kind of be the bottom of my favorites, but I could see it getting higher over time. Marvel Champions. I don't know if that's true. You know what? That hurts to do, but I'm undoing it. I'm going Civolution. I really have just not been playing Marvel Champions very much or enjoying it. Grand Austria Hotel. Marvel Champions over Gugong, though. Nucleum over Gugong. Gugong over the Loop, I think. The Loop over Marvel United. Marvel United over Leviathan Wilds. Leviathan Wilds over Amritsar. Amritsar over Lunar Rush. Mythwind over Lunar Rush. Endless Winter over Lunar Rush. Zhenghua over Lunar Rush. Nassau over Lunar Rush. Lunar Rush over Draft and Right. Nunatek over Draft and Right. Draft and Right over Thunder Road. Bullet over Barcelona. Planet Unknown over Barcelona. Hansa over Barcelona. Barcelona over Tapestry. Duet over Tapestry. Next Station London over Tapestry. Tapestry over Imperium. Roleplayer Adventures over Imperium. Imperium or Amalfi. Imperium. Capital Lux 2 over Amalfi. I wonder if I should do this with code names too. I'm just going to count both code names as code names. Just, we don't need that. We don't need that. Age of Innovation over Amalfi. Amalfi over Scholars. Fabled over Scholars. Mistborn over Scholars. Scholars over Faraway. Expedition to Newdale over Faraway. Faraway over Apiary. Apiary over 51st State. Sentinels over 51st State. Ooh, Dune Imperium or Stroganoff. This is tough. I'm going Stroganoff. I'm going for sale. I'll go Dune over Keyflower, but I could see that swapping. Keyflower over Stone Spine. Pirates over Stone Spine. Stone Spine over Cloudspire. Slay over Cloudspire. Cloudspire over Skytear Horde. Kathmandu over Skytear Horde. Wingspan Asia over Skytear Horde. Kinfire Delve over Skytear Horde. Skytear Horde over Footprints. Windmill Valley over Footprints. Amerigo over Footprints. We have reached halfway, but we're only an hour and 40 minutes in, boys. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can get this done in 30 minutes. I think we can do it. All right. Crack my knuckles. Let me get a little sippy. Here we go. Speed round. Cartographers. Tainted Grail. AI. The Reckoners. Ticket to Ride. Oh. Raw. Ashes. Concordia. Carcassonne. Dwarf. Primal. Darwin's Journey. Life of the Amazonia. Newton. Star Wars Outer Rim. White Castle. Forest Shuffle. Cascadia. Andromeda's Edge. Red Rising. Rolling Realms. Splendor Duel. Fox Experiment. Freelancers. Harmonies. First Rat. Taverns, I guess. Maracaibo or Marrakesh? No. Marrakesh. That's a tough one. Maracaibo. Hamburg. Too many bones. Expeditions. Ezra and Nehemiah. Nova Roma. Honestly, I think Great Western Trail would go higher if it just managed its table space more. It's freaking way too big. Like, I can't even play a 2-player game on a full table because there's too much stuff, and that just makes me not want to pull it out. Speaking of big games, Batoka is also freaking huge. New Zealand. Batoku. Sky Team. Azul. Scout. Gollum. Fallout. Tiwanaku. Lunar Rush. Ooh, Boop or Flip Town. Probably Flip Town. Boop. Kingdom Builder. Istanbul. Pioneer Rails. Oh, Revive. That's tough, though. Castles, that's also tough. We're going to start against some hard ones. Root. Obsession. I might go Carpe Diem here. Oak. New York City. As much as I love Escape, it'll probably be like the bottom of the top. Because once it comes up against a lot of these Euros, it's going to be like, I'm going to have a hard time choosing it. Escape over Wandering Towers, though. As much as I like Endeavor, I think it's going to come into that, 6 or 7 game slump. Wandering Towers I would play anytime. Endeavor right now. Fleet. Daenerys. I think I see Joyride going up, though. Only up with more plays. Joyride. Come together. Namalia. Riverside. Genshin Taro. Lost Ruins. Push. Resurgence. Burger King. Island something shiny. Spirit Island. I mean, Ethnos. Federation. Just One. Arborea. Santa Maria. Deep Rock. Amsterdam. Pharaon. Isofarian Guard. Earthborn. House of Cats. Burn Cycle. Findorf. Isle of Skye. Love Letter. Guild of Merchants Explorers. Mage Knight. Subterra 2. Beacon Patrol. Tidal Blades 2. Star Wars Destiny Co-op. Savannah Park. Evenfall. Tilly Thumb. Automania. I'll give it to Tilly Thumb. Merlin. Brussels. Heat. Vienna. Praga Kaput Regni. Shipyard. Mother of Frankenstein. Rise. Sea Salt. I don't know if that's true or not, actually. Sea Salt over Glass Road? Well, whatever. Glass Road over Shake That City. Shake That City over Corrosion. Shadows of Kingdoms of Valeria over Corrosion. Death May Die over Bullet. Heaven and Nail over Bullet. Lorenzo over Bullet. These are so different. So different. Right now, gun to my head's Evolution. Grand Austria. Bullet. Plan Unknown. Hansa. Barcelona. Duet. It's crazy. I can't believe Marvel Champions is going to fall a lot. I think Ashes kind of was the nail in the coffin for it, though. I'll give... I mean, it's like, am I going to... Yeah, I'll give it to Champs, I guess. Nucleum. Gugong. Next Station London. Tapestry. Role Player Adventures. The Loop. So different. Marvel United or Imperium. Marvel United. Leviathan Wilds. Imperium, Capital Lux 2, Age of Innovation, Amalfi, Fabled. I think Amritsar, yeah, it's just that you kind of get too much done to where it does feel like I'm playing the same game every time I play it. It's a really fun game, but I don't feel like I'm really exploring different options, which that's what I want in my Euros. So Mistborn. But these two both do that, so I'm going to give it to Amritsar. Mythwind. Endless Winter. Zhengwao. I keep getting Zhengwao and Nassau back to back. Nassau. Lunar Rush. Noon Attack. Yeah. I really like Noon Attack. Draft and Write. Scholars. Thunder Road. Keep the Heroes Out. Expedition to Newdale. Far Away. Apiary. Sentinels. Alhambra hasn't aged super well, but it's better than 51st State. Raw or Stroganoff? Raw. I think Raw is going to be top of this list. Ashes. Oh. This is tough. Concordia is just like, it's just so easy to play and it's so smooth. But Stroganoff is really unlike any. I'm going Stroganoff. For sale or Concordia? For sale. Dune Imperium or Concordia? I'll give it to Dune. Keyflower. I'm going to go with Keyflower. Concordia over Pirates, though. Carcassonne over Pirates. Dorf Romantic over Pirates. Primal over Pirates. Darwin's Journey over Pirates. Pirates over Life of the Amazonia. Life of the Amazonia over Stone Spine. Newton over Stone Spine. Outer Rim over Stone Spine. White Castle over Stone Spine. Stone Spine over Forest Shuffle. Slay the Spire over Forest Shuffle. Cloud Spire over Forest Shuffle. Kathmandu over Forest Shuffle. I feel like I like Forest Shuffle more than this, I feel like. But Forest Shuffle over Wingspan. Cascadia over Wingspan? I think so. Andromeda's Edge. Wingspan over Red Rising. Kinfire Delve over Red Rising. Skytear Horde over Red Rising. Windmill Valley over Red Rising. Amerigo over Red Rising. Cartographers over Red Rising. Tainted Grail over Red Rising. AI over Red Rising. Reckoners over Red Rising. Ticket to Ride over Red Rising. Red Rising over Footprints. Rolling Realms over Footprints. Splendor Duel over Footprints. They'll probably be towards the bottom. Fox Experiment over Footprints. Freelancers over Footprints. Harmonies over Footprints. First Rat over Footprints. Taverns over Footprints. I do like Footprints more than Lockup, though. Lockup over Tabriz. Revive or Marrakesh? Revive. Castles of Burgundy over Marrakesh. Castles of Burgundy. Root or Marrakesh? Root. Oh, the pain. Marrakesh or Obsession? Marrakesh. Maracaibo or Obsession? Obsession. Maracaibo or Carpe Diem? Carpe Diem. Oak or Maracaibo? Maracaibo. Hamburg or Oak? Oak. Hamburg over New York City. Too Many Bones over New York City. Expeditions over New York City. Esmeralda Mahaya over New York City. Nova Roma over New York City. Great Western Trail over New York City. Bitoku over New York City. New York City over Sky Team. Escape over Sky Team. Wandering Towers over Sky Team. Endeavor over Sky Team right now. You can see that flopping. Fleet over Sky Team. Tenaris over Sky Team. Joyride over Sky Team. Sky Team over Come Together. Azul over Come Together. Scout over Come Together. I've only played both these once. Gollum, I think. Fallout. Come Together. Namalia. Riverside. Tiwanaku is really cool. It's just a kind of one and doneer. Genshin. Lost Ruins. Push. Resurgence. God, that new cover of Resurgence is pretty ugly. Burger King. Tiwanaku. Lunar Rush. Ela and Something Shiny. Flip Town over Waffle Time. Boop over Waffle Time. Kingdom Builder over Waffle Time. Istanbul over Waffle Time, I think. Waffle Time over Pioneer Rails. Spirit Island over Mage Knight. Ethnos over Mage Knight. Federation over Mage Knight. Just One's going to be towards the top. It's crazy. I just like, what? How do you compare these? Mage Knight or Just One? Mage Knight's the better game, but I'm going I'm going Just One. Yeah, I think Mage Knight's going to suffer from being so freaking long, but dang, it's so good. When you want a 3-hour game, I mean, I just don't think there's anything else that comes close. I think. I will go Mage Knight over Santa Maria. Subterra 2 over Santa Maria. Santa Maria over Beacon Patrol. Deep Rock over Beacon Patrol. Amsterdam over Beacon Patrol. Beacon Patrol over Pharaon. Tidal Blades over Pharaon. Can't believe how good Tidal Blades 2 is. If you like dungeon crawlers, it's the best that I've played. Star Wars Destiny co-op. It's super fun. Savannah Park. Evenfall. Automania. Diddly Thumb. Pharaon. Isofarian Guard. I think the Tilly Tum or Tile or whatever it is, I think the expansion is going to go a long way for that game. I think. Methinks. It's a pain to set up, man. Earthborn. Tilly Tum. House of Cats. Merlin. Brussels. Heat. Vienna. Burn Cycle. Praga over Findorf, I think. Findorf over Shipyard. Isle of Skye over Shipyard. Love Letter over Shipyard. Nothing's wrong with Shipyard. It's very just fine. It's got that thing where it reminds me of Uwe Rosenberg, where I'm like, it makes my brain think in a way that I'm like, ooh, but I'm never like having fun doing it. It's very just like I'm doing the thing. And I just think other games make me do the thing, but also let me have fun at the same time. Guild of Merchant Explorers. But it's not a bad game by any means. The second edition's nice. The rulebook is a little You think with the second edition they'd get the rulebook right, but they did not. Shipyard. Guild Academies. Mother of Frankenstein. Same thing. I feel like with For Northwood, it's like I appreciate the design. I'm not like when I'm playing a solo game, I'm not like, I want to play a trick-taking game. I'm not a huge trick-taking guy. But I'll give it the nod over Rise. Rise to Nobility. Rise to Nobility. Rise over Disney Lorcana. Did not really love Disney Lorcana. It was fine. Sea Salt. Glass Road over Disney Lorcana. Shake That City over Disney Lorcana. I feel like Disney... I mean, I've already voted this far. Shadow Kingdoms. Did like it more than Corrosion. Eek, I didn't love... Paris. Raw. Ashes. Oh, Death May Die. See, it's getting me to the hard ones now. It's like it gives me a group of tough ones, and then I get the easy ones, and then it goes back to these super hard ones. Stroganov. For Sale. Dune Imperium. Keyflower. Heaven and Ale. Lorenzo only with the expansion. Without the expansion, it would be much farther down. But Lorenzo with the expansion is a banger. Concordia over Civolution. Carcassonne. Civolution over Dorf Romantic. Grand Austria Toe over Dorf Romantic. Dorf over Bullet. Primal over Bullet. Darwin's Journey over Bullet, I guess. Bullet over Pirates. Planet Unknown over Pirates. Hansa over Pirates. Barcelona over Pirates. Codenames Duet over Pirates. Pirates over Marvel Champions. Life of the Amazonia over Champions. Newton over Champions. Star Wars out like right now. I think Marvel Champions is probably realistically higher, but like right now, if you're like, what do you want to play, Star Wars or Marvel Champions? I'd go Star Wars. I'd go White Castle, which is crazy. I'd go Stone Spine. Yeah, this is definitely of my enjoyment in 2024 of how I rank these games. Not as board games. I think this list would look different. Slay the Spire over Champs. Cloud Spire over Champs. Champs, I guess. Nucleum. Gugong. Next Station London. Tapestry over Kathmandu. Roleplayer Adventures over Kathmandu. The Loop over Kathmandu. Marvel United over Kathmandu. Kathmandu. Leviathan Wilds, after 4 or 5 games, I was like, I seen it. I done seen it. Forest Shuffle. Cascadia. Leviathan Wilds, though. Imperium for now. Andromeda's Edge I could see going up with more plays, or maybe going down. I'm not sure. I just need to play it more. Capital Lux 2. Age of Innovation. Amalfi. Fabled. Mistborn. Amritsar. Mythwind. I will... No, Endless Winter. Zangwao. Nassau. It's always Zangwao, then Nassau, then Lunar Rush. I guess it'll be these 3 in a row. I'm going to go Andromeda's Edge over Lunar Rush. Wingspan over Lunar Rush. Kinfire Delve. Skytier Horde. Windmill Valley. Amerigo. Cartographers. Tainted Grail. AI. The Reckoners. Ticket to Ride Legacy. I think I give the nod to Lunar Rush here. Noon Attack. Red Rising's fine. It's fine. Draft and Write Records. Scholars. Thunder Road. Keep the Heroes Out. Expedition to Newdale. I like it more than Faraway, though. Faraway, Rolling Realms, Splendor Duel over Faraway, Fox Experiment over Faraway, Freelance over Faraway, Harmonies over Faraway. Faraway over First Rat? First Rat was super mid for me. Apiary over First Rat. Sentinels over First Rats. Alhambra over First Rat. First Rat over 51st State. 51st State's such a nothing burger. I just felt like I don't ever really want to... I could see why it was a good game before Engine Builders kind of got implemented on so well, but it's just kind of Footprints. Lockup. I just did not like 51st State. Debris. Spirit Island or Revive. Revive. Oh, this is so freaking hard. Spirit Island or Castles in Burgundy. I'm going to get the Castles, I think. Root or Spirit Island? Root. If we were just talking solo, Spirit Island would be a lot higher. It's going to be higher than Marrakesh. Ethnos higher than Marrakesh. Right now, Federation's higher than Marrakesh. This freaking Just One. Obsession over Just One. Carpe Diem over Just One. Maracaibo over Just One. Oak over Just One. Just One over Hamburg, I guess. Arborea over Hamburg. Hamburg over Mage Knight. All right, 2 3-hour games. I'd rather play Mage Knight. Subterra 2. Too Many Bones over Santa Maria. Expeditions over Santa Maria. Ezra and Nehemiah over Santa Maria. Nova Roma over Santa Maria. Santa Maria over New Zealand. Deep Rock over New Zealand. Amsterdam over New Zealand. Beacon Patrol over New Zealand. Tidal Blades 2 over New Zealand. Star Wars Destiny Co-op over New Zealand. New Zealand over Savannah Park. Bitoku over Savannah Park. New York City over Savannah Park. Escape over Savannah Park. Wandering Towers over Savannah Park. Endeavor over Savannah Park. Fleet over Savannah Park. Tenares over Savannah Park. Joyride over Savannah Park. Sky Team over Savannah Park. Azul over Savannah Park. Scout over Savannah Park. Gollum over Savannah Park. Yeah, this might be the height of Savannah Park. It's really good. It's just very light. Fallout over Savannah Park. Come Together over Savannah Park. Oh, here we go. Savannah Park over Namalia. Evenfall over Namalia. Automania over Namalia. Theron over Namalia. Icefairing Guard over Namalia. Earthborn over Namalia. Tillytum over Namalia. House of Cats over Namalia. Merlin over Namalia. Brussels over Namalia. Heat over Namalia. Vienna over Namalia. Burn Cycle over Namalia. Praga Kaput Regni over Namalia. Findorf over Namalia. Isle of Skye over Namalia. Love Letter over Namalia. Guild of Merchant Explorers. Namalia. Riverside. Genshin Taro. This might be as high as Shipyard goes as well. Lost Ruins. Push. Resurgence. I feel the same way about both of these games, but I think Oranian Burger Canal is I have more fun in if I had to choose one. Yeah, Oranian Burger. Shipyard. Guild Academies. Tiwanaku. Lunar Rush. Elan Something Shiny. Flip Town. We're at 2 hours right now. I think I said I wanted to do it under 2 hours, but under 2 hours and 30 minutes is what I meant. So I think we're going to do that. Boop over Mother of Frankenstein. I'm just not a huge abstract 2-player game, honestly. Or gamer, I should say. I love escape rooms. Boop is the better game because Mother of Frankenstein has some flaws, but man, I really liked my experience with Mother of Frankenstein. For Northwood. Rise to Nobility. Rise. Sea Salt and Paper. Glass Road. Shake That City. Shadow Kingdoms. Disney Lorcana. Paris. Boop. Kingdom Builder. Really didn't like Corrosion. It was just fine. Very forgettable. Waffle Time. Pioneer Rails. Divinus, or I guess Corrosion. It was a toss-up, honestly. Revive over Raw. Castles over Raw. Root over Raw. Spirit Island over Raw. Oh, okay. So these ones, this is the toughest one because it's like I would give me a group of 4 people, and it's like which would I rather play, Raw or Ethnos? That pulling that dragon though is, I mean, I'm going Raw. Ethnos. Ashes. Death May Die. Stroganoff or Federation? Stroganoff. For Sale. Oof. Federation. Marrakesh. This might be Dune's height. Obsession. Carpe Diem. Maracaibo. Yeah, I'll give Dune Nod over Oak. Keyflower over Oak. Heaven and Ale over Oak. Lorenzo over Oak. Concordia over Oak. Carcassonne over Oak. Civolution over Oak. Grand Austria Hotel over Oak. Dorf over Oak. Primal over Oak. Darwin's Journey over Oak. Bullet over Oak. Boo. Oak over Planet Unknown. Freaking Just One. Sneaking up on me again. Planet Unknown. Hansa. Barcelona. Here we go. Comparison that actually makes sense. Just One or Codenames Duet? Just One. Arborea. Codenames Duet. Hamburg. Mage Knight or Pirates? Mage Knight. Subterra over Pirates. Too many bones over Pirates. Expeditions over Pirates. I cannot believe how high Ezra and Nehemiah is going to go. I mean, I can. I just can't believe how much I liked it. It's surprisingly very good. Nova Roma over Pirates. If Maracaibo didn't exist and only Pirates of Maracaibo exist, it would be much higher. I like Maracaibo more, and they are very similar. Santa Maria. Deep Rock over Pirates. Amsterdam over Pirates. Pirates over Beacon Patrol. Life at Amazonia over Amazonia. Newton over Beacon Patrol. Outer Rim over Beacon Patrol. White Castle over Beacon Patrol. Stone Spine over Beacon Patrol. Slay over Beacon Patrol. Cloud Spire over Beacon Patrol. Marvel Champions over Beacon Patrol. Nucleum over Beacon Patrol. Gugong. Next station, London. Tapestry. Roleplayer Adventures. The Loop. Marvel United. Kathmandu. Forest Shuffle. Cascadia or Beacon Patrol. Man. Beacon Patrol. If Life of the Amazonia didn't exist, it would be Cascadia. Tidal Blades 2. Star Wars Destiny Co-op. Great Western Trail, New Zealand. Bitoku. New York City. Escape. Wandering Towers. Endeavor. Fleet or Cascadia. Fleet. Tenaris. Joyride. Sky Team or Cascadia? Cascadia, I think. Leviathan Wilds over Sky Team. Imperium over Sky Team. Capital Lux over Sky Team. Age of Innovation over Sky Team. Sky Team over Amalfi? Yeah. Azul over Amalfi. Scout over Amalfi. Golem over Amalfi. Fallout over Amalfi. Come Together over Amalfi. Savannah Park over Amalfi. Evenfall over Amalfi. Automania over Amalfi. Farron over Amalfi. Isofarian Guard. Earthborn. Tilitum. House of Cats. Merlin. Brussels. Yes. Heat. Yes. Vienna. Yes. Burn Cycle. Yes. Praga. Yes. Findorf. Yes. Isle of Skye or Amalfi. Isle of Skye. Love Letter. Guild of Merchant Explorers. Namalia. Riverside. Genshin Tarot. Lost Ruins of Arnak. Yes. Push. Yes. Resurgence. Yes. I'm going to give it to Burger King. Amalfi over Shipyard. Fabled over Shipyard. Mistborn over Shipyard. Amritsar over Shipyard. Mythwind over Shipyard. Endless Winter over Shipyard. Zhangwao. Nassau. Drama's Edge. Yes. Wingspan, yes. Kinfire Delve, yes. Skytear Horde, yes. Windmill Valley. I'm going to give it to Shipyard. Guild Academies over Windmill. Windmill over Tiwanaku. Amerigo over Tiwanaku. Cartographers over Tiwanaku. Tainted. Just for my tastes, I'm going Tiwanaku over Tainted Grail. Lunar Rush over Tainted Grail. Just it's such, 100-hour campaign is just, it's too long for me. I'll play 10 hours and I had a good time playing Tainted Grail for 10 hours. And then I found reading books, and that's kind of taken away from all of my solo adventure board gaming because I just enjoy it more. Elan Something Shiny. Fliptown. Mother of Frankenstein for Northwood. Rise of Nobility. I'll give it the nod over Rise. AI. The Reckoners. Ticket to Ride Legacy. Lunar Rush. Nunatak. Draft and Ride over Rise. Scholars or Rise? Right now, I'd rather play Rise. Feel like I've played out Scholars. Sea Salt and Paper. Glass Road. Shake That City. Shadow Kingdoms. Disney Lorcana. Paris. No, I'm not doing that. Scholars over Paris. Thunder Road over Paris. Keep the Heroes Out over Paris. Expedition over Paris. Red Rising over Paris. Rolling Realms over Paris. Splendor Duel over Paris. Fox Experiment over Paris. Freelancers over Paris. Harmonies over Paris. Paris over Faraway. Boop over Faraway. Faraway is just kind of a nothing burger for me. I played it and that was fine. Kingdom Builder. Istanbul. Waffle Time. Pioneer Rails. Faraway over Corrosion, though. Apiary over Corrosion. Sentinels over Corrosion. Alhambra over Corrosion. First Rat over Corrosion. Taverns of Tiefenthal. Footprints. Corrosion. I just did not like Lockup. I didn't like either of these games. Divinus was fine enough. It was a legacy game. We played 6 or 7 games, and it was fun. So, but, if it's not fun enough for us to complete, then that's, it's not a good time. Debris over Divinus. But I liked it more than 51st State. All right, we did it. We did it. Okay. All right. We're not going to spend too much time. We're at 2 hours and 11 minutes. So, Revive was the most fun I had playing a game last year, according to this. I think I'm going to say probably the top 10 I could swap in and out any day of the week. Like Revive and Castles of Burgundy and Root and Spirit Island and Raw and Ethnos and Ashes Reborn. They're all so good. I love all of these games. For Sale, maybe the biggest surprise that it's there. I mean, it is and it isn't. For Sale never misses. It never misses. It's so good. You can teach anybody. It's a great game. Yeah, it's such a good game. Stroganoff, is that the highest? So the highest Euro I have is Revive. Let's see. Root is definitely very high for me, having not being able to play it very much. I just love Root. I love Root. It's so good. This might be like a wishful thinking number 3. But damn, I just have a great time every time I play it. Spirit Island, classic. This will probably never leave my top 10 ever. I'd be extremely surprised if I ever left my top 10. Death May Die, I think this is a good year for Death May Die. I could see this dropping out, but man, it's just every game comes down to the freaking wire, and it's so fun winning or losing that game. It's just a great design. We'll see how I feel after. This is about probably 20 plays in. So we'll see how I feel after. I mean, just the fact that I got to 20 plays, though, that says something. A lot of these games are like 2-3 plays. Okay, let's see. So we'll look at the top 20. So here we go. Federation, super surprise sleeper hit, I think. Super underrated. If you like interactive Euros, I mean, it doesn't get much more interactive than that. It's super great. Where else? Marrakesh. I love Marrakesh. I want to play it more. Really want the expansion. Obsession. I could see this going up with the character expansion and the co-op. I really want to learn the co-op. Carpe Diem. Another Stefan Feld that just doesn't get as much love as it deserves because it's really ugly, and I get that. But damn, it's a good game. If you love Castles of Burgundy, it doesn't play a lot like Castles of Burgundy, but it plays in the same like snappy way, especially at 2 players. Just like, I'm going to take that tile, I'm going to put it on my thing, and I'm going to get a little thing. And the way you score in that game is so good. It's one of those games that, man, does first player matter in that game? And a lot of times there's a spot and it's like, oh, you go there, you get first player. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I don't have anything else to do, I'll get first player. I fight for first player in Carpe Diem because it just, for scoring, someone can block you and it can ruin your game, but it doesn't feel bad if someone does. It feels like you lost it because you lost it. So it's good. It can be mean though. Let's see. Carpe Diem, Maracaibo, classic. I always love Maracaibo. It can run a little long, but it never feels like it runs long. Like it feels like a snap, and then I'm like, oh wow, it's been like 2.5 hours, but Dune Imperium will probably never leave my top 30 or something. I just don't play a lot of 3-player games, and I think Dune at 2 and 1 is very meh. Keyflower, one of the most unique bidding or auction games. I didn't get to talk about it, but the coolest thing about this is that there's different colored meeples. And you're bidding on these tiles. You're bidding on a couple things, but you're building on tiles to put into your city. But the first person to place a colored meeple next to that tile to bid on it, they set the bidding resource. So if I put a red meeple, that means only red meeples can be used to bid on that. And you keep all your meeples behind the screen. So if I'm like, ooh, I remember you don't have a lot of red meeples. You've been using a lot of yellow and blue. Well, I'm going to put 3 red meeples there, and I know that you can't bid that, so I'm going to lock you out of it. So that being able to use that is just a very unique thing. It's a banger. Heaven and Nail, sleeper hit. It doesn't get talked about enough. It's so good. You can either go for points on the left side, or you can go for money on the right side. Or, sorry, not points on the left side, but you're basically moving up your tracker, your little markers for each of the resources, and they score that way. So you can go for scoring, or you can go for money, which helps you because it is a tight economy game. And then Lorenzo, this is only here with the expansion. Base game, this would be much lower, but the expansion really opens up this game. Concordia is just a banger. And then, 21, Carcassonne. It's so good, so good. Co-op, 2-player, 1v1, with all the expansions in it. Oh, just a banger. All right, let's look at the bottom. I played 176 games, which is kind of wild. Applejack, no surprise. I could not tell you a thing about it. It's just got apples in it. 51st State, yeah, just didn't age well. Divinus, legacy game that just didn't do super great. Didn't hook us enough to play through the whole thing. Debris, I feel like there's only room for this or Istanbul, and Istanbul's got expansions, which I think are going to open it up a lot more. Lockup, this was just a blind bidding worker placement, which I felt very mid on. Corrosion, it's like the engine building is all you're doing in the game. It's just an engine builder where you're just engine building, and I usually want a little bit more. Footprints, I want to play more. Taverns of Tiefenthal, fine. First Rat, fine. Alhambra, fine. Yeah, these are just fine. But really, I didn't play any bad games except for maybe Applejack and 51st State and Divinus. But yeah, that's every game I played last year and ranked in my order of enjoyment. I appreciate you watching if you made it this far. Yeah, I'll probably do this again for what movies I played soon. So thanks for joining. And yeah, I'm Matt, and we'll see you next time. Bye.